Now I want to take this even a step further, this Fuddify the text. Right now, the person has to enter this always in here, but what if I want to do this to a whole like Word document or CSV document? How would I do that? The first thing we have to do is I want to have two choices. I want the person to be able to enter text here or put a text document. So to do that, I'm going to have to break up my function just a little bit because this user text function is, this first part is actually only good if they put it in here. So what that means then is I'm going to just stop it there. And afterwards, so after we get this input, I'm just going to run a new function. And I'm going to call it Fuddify. So I'm going to run this function and I'm going to pass in the input. Now, how I know I'm passing in the input is I looked at the next line of my Fuddify and actually doing the Fuddify. And I noticed that the only really thing I needed from this was the input here. So I'm going to go into my Fuddify thing, text, and I'm going to make a new function. And I'm going to call it Fuddify. And I'm just going to take one parameter in. It's just going to be the input. And then I think we're good. So this should still work absolutely properly because all that's happening is this input is getting fed into my function. And it was already input here. So that's why I kind of cheated a little bit, used this whole thing the same way down. This could be different, but then I'd have to change this. It doesn't really matter here. Input is still input. Let's just make sure that works though, before I say too fast. So we'll say laughing out loud. Still says laughing out loud. Perfect. Now, why I've done this is now I can use all of this code again. If I want to do, let's say, a Word document or a CSV file. Now, in our case, we're just going to do a Word document for this one. We're going to do the fetch API. So, fetching text document, do txt document, which means we need to go and create that over here. So we're going to do, I don't know, we'll call input. Input.txt. Maybe that's confusing. Maybe you'll think that it always has to be input then. Let's do convert. Yeah, convert this. So it's obvious that it can be whatever you want it to be. And I'll just write a sentence. Going to Louis is the best part of my day. Oops, the best part of my day. Okay, I hit run. Nothing, should be no problems. That's just a text file that I haven't even used. Now, our favorite, the fetch API. So first, I need to actually get the document. So I'm going to fetch it. Now I called it convert this.txt. I don't really like that name, but hey. Now once it's fetched it, then I want to take that data. Now at that point, it's just raw data. And I want to do something with it. So I'm going to use my arrow function. I'm going to take that data, that raw data, and I'm going to turn it to text. Okay, so now I've got it in text. Then what I want to do, and this is where the arrow functions are beautiful and why that other function is going to be so helpful. I'm going to take that data. So right now, it's going to feed whatever comes out of here. So my text. And I want to feed that into my function. Now, I'm going to do a little differently this time. I am going to actually put these braces here. So I could do this in braces. I want to console.log this just so you can see what it looks like before I do anything to it. So it should come out as a string. And then I also want to run my Fuddify text, or sorry, not text, Fuddify function. And that requires an input. So in our case, we're going to take this data because that's what's being passed into us from us. No space after then. That was a mistake. All right. So maybe actually I'm going to just comment that out so you can see just one thing at a time. We're going to see what it looks like. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I I never even call. Oh, it should work. Yeah, there we go. So going to Louis is the best part of my day. That's the same thing as convert this. So that's good. Now I do want this to actually show up here now. Now did this? Oh, it didn't Fuddify it yet though, because the Fuddifying happens in our function. So I'm going to get rid of this console.log now. And because I only have one line in here, I don't need these braces anymore. So I'm going to get rid of those braces and make this a little less confusing. I know it's confusing as it is. So adding extra braces is not helping you, I'm sure. Put some space there. Okay. So now hit run. Now you're going to see going to Wooey is the best part of my day. Perfect. So I have Elmer fudded this text. Now I can go back into my text file at any point and computer science is the best part of Louis. I don't know. I'm not very creative. Here we go. So we go back. And you can see all the L's and W's have been changed. L's and R's have been changed to W's. So now it sounds like Elmer Fudd talking. So if we go back to Looney Tunes, is it Looney Tunes? I feel like that's wrong. But anyway, now the only maybe problem is if I go and type anything here, it does instantly replace it. I could have it have a different output and stuff, but for now, I think that's good. You can see that it works both ways.